Okay, so today, let me share my screen. We are going to talk about React swipeable views. Uh, React swipeable views is a library that handles swipe events. There isn't a swipe event by supported natively by JavaScript. So in this case, we are going to use a library. Basically, it's when you drag and then the view changes. Like you have a view that comes from one side, that's a swipe. So I'm going to show you. I created a React app from scratch as usual. I have it here. And what we have to do, as usual, when we create a new React app, we delete this. Then we delete this as well. And we have to delete also the CSS to have a white canvas. I'm going to leave the text align center. And yes, so here it is. I'm also going to show you the docs to, in case you need to install a library, how to proceed and how to read them. So basically, on each library, on the docs, they usually have a getting started or an installation or something like that. If you go there, if you go to npm, because we are using npm, you just simply copy and paste this code. Then we go to the terminal. Let me kill this server. And now I'm going to install it. I already have it installed, but I'm going to reinstall it just to show you. So basically, on old versions of Node, of npm, we have to put the save. We don't need it anymore. And what the save does, I'm going to explain you while this is installing. If you check on the file package.json, and then you go to dependencies, the save, what save is doing is installing your library on dependencies. In this case is this one. And if you don't, so basically, if you don't put the save, it would be available in your laptop. But then, if you want to share your project or to put it on the cloud on GitHub, if it's not in dependencies, it will be installed when you do npm install. So yes, so basically, when you install a library, make sure that you have it in dependencies. Now this is installing. So
sorry, Esteban, can you say that again, because the audio isn't very clear?
Yes.
So you said when you install it, you do the npm install. What do you also have to check? You go to package.json and
If you go to package.json, you should check that the name of the library that you installed is there. The name of the dependency. In this case is this one. I could delete it and install it again, but I don't want to make you wait because it would take a bit longer. Okay. So now when you install a library or a dependency, a package, if you see the plus, it means that it was added to package.json. Anyway, it doesn't hard to check if it's there. It means that it was installed successfully. So yeah, it's saying updated because I already had it installed before. And now we have it on our project and we can use it. So if we go to usually on the docs of the library you are installing, you have some examples. So for instance, this one, or we can go to demos as well. So if we go to this demo, what this does, you see, I'm scrolling, it's changing the view. So basically, that's what we are going to do now. So first of all, we need to import the 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 component we're going to use. We're going to use a component swipeable views that is going to wrap the views. So let's do it. Import. So first of all, I'm going to explain you this code, and then I'm going to put it on my editor. Then we have some styles here that then we are storing them into a variable, and then on this example, they are using the style attribute, and then they are passing them using this method. Probably you didn't see it yet, the object dot assign. What object dot assign does, on the first argument, you define the target, and then you define the sources of the properties. So basically, it's going to create a new object, and inside is going to have the properties that you specify. In this case, this is the slide number 1. It's going to have the styles from the slide and slide number 1. This is not a very good practice. I'm not going to go into detail for what, but I don't know if you remember when we talk about specificity, the specificity of the style attribute is quite high, is 1000. There was only one thing that was more specific than the style, the inline styles, and it's the important. So just because of that, if you can avoid it, it's better not to use the style. There are, so basically by doing this, you can use JavaScript, right? Inside to process your CSS, which can have some advantages as well. But there are other ways. There are libraries that allow you to use JavaScript so CSS in JavaScript. For instance, I don't know if you heard about styled components. That's one, without needing to use the style attribute, because this is, you're going to have issues from maintainability, also readability. Like if you put all the style here, I don't know. To be honest, I prefer to put it on a separate CSS file, and I'm going to do that. But first of all, let me put this into my code. So as we said, first we import the component that we are going to use. So we have imported. Then we have these styles that for now I'm going to use, and then I'm going to tell you how to translate this into CSS. So let's put it here for now. And then we have this component that inside has this. So basically, we can just put it inside here, inside the app. Okay, so let's check that this works. npm start. Now it's going to open the browser. So I had it here before, but I killed the server, so I have to run it again. Yes, here it is. So we have, you see, looks like it's working. If we wanted to make it be the whole screen, instead of min height, we can change this to height and then 100 ph. And when we are using, because this is JavaScript and is an object, we need to put it as a string. Yes, no, and not semicolon, a comma. Okay, now it takes the whole height of the string. So, yes. So let's change this into CSS. So we have a slide, we have slide 1, slide 2, and slide 3. So basically we can make that classes. So a slide is common to all of the slides. And then each one has their own specific styles. So if we create a class name, and here we put the classes, so all of them, they are going to have slide, and then this one is going to be slide 1. And then we can copy and paste this. Okay, and now it's only going to be 2 and 3. So slide 2, slide 3, and we can get rid of this. Okay. And now we need to add the styles into our CSS file. So we have the class slide, which is the one common to all of the slides. Sorry, let me go back. And inside we have the padding, 15 pixels, height 100 VH, and a color. So padding 15 pixels, height 100 VH, and a color for the text, say white. Okay, so this is for the slide. Then we have slide 1, and we have slide 2 and slide 3. So slide 1 is going to have a background color. Let's say red. Slide 2 is going to have a background color of, let's say, you know, violet. And then, oops, so it looks like someone is trying to join. Let me check. Oh, no one. Okay. So so we had slide 2 violet and slide 3 another color. So background color.
Sorry, I got it off.
Okay. So basically what I'm doing
I
is,
can't hear you though.
okay.
Strange.
Okay. So what I'm doing is translating the styles that we had as an object before to CSS. So another color, I don't know, blue. Okay. And now we are no longer using the styles. So we can delete it. We no longer need this. And let me format this a bit. And now this should be it. So let's check on the browser. Here it is. And it's working. So any questions? Do you understand what I did?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so that's basically a slider. Is it sort of like for hero images and things like that on the homepage,
It could
or
be
what are the
from,
other use cases for it?
it could be for hero images. It could be to create like a carousel. You know, when you have like, for you have some images and they are, you are scrolling over the images. It could be if you are on mobile to open menus, for instance, like you scroll to one side and then you have the menu, then you scroll back and you have another. Can you mute yourself, Kit, please?
Oh, sorry, no, I got cut off and I had to come back in and then I couldn't hear you, so I had to come back out again and try it again. I
No
think it's
worries,
fine now.
no worries. But can you please mute yourself? Yes, because there is echo otherwise. So,
With this
yes.
carousel, you know, sometimes you see people using the arrows, right and left arrows.
Uh-huh.
Is it easy enough to incorporate that into it as well, or
You,
would
I
that
think
complicate things?
you could, but then it would be something different because in this case, it's when you swipe,
You know,
not when you click. To click is easier because
okay.
you can use the on click event to display things the way you want. But we are trying. What we are doing is swipes. We
You
are
know when it's
yes.
yeah, so it's good for mobile, but you know, like if it's larger than 600 pixels and you wanted to design it for laptops, for
Mhm.
instance, um, would, how would you recommend using slides in that instance? Like, would you put those buttons in, or would you just do like an animation where it goes on its own?
So yes, I'm going to talk about that now. There is another demo
Okay.
that we are going to do now. Basically, is this one is the autoplay that basically it slides over different, so it's just uh, sliding automatically and it's quite easy to implement. The only thing is we're not going to put the dots because we don't have them. The on this demo is using this pagination that is importing it from a different place and it's not giving the source, so we are going to do it without the dots. So in order to use this, we need this other library or part of the library. If we go back to getting started, to installation, now we are going to help me doing it. So I installed React Swipeable Views, but then it's talking about that it's is split into three or four different packages. So the one we need now is React Swipeable Views utils because I want to use the auto element. So in order to install this, basically what we have to do is the same thing, but instead of putting here React Swipeable Views, we put React Swipeable Views utils. So let's do that. So let's scale the server. Now we do this. It's the same thing, but utils in the end. Now we're going to install it. And if you are installing it for the first time, not reinstalling it like I'm doing, you won't have this here. But while you are installing it, when it's finished, it will be added. And yes, after this is installed, again, if you might have some warnings that you can ignore, and as long as you have the plus in the end, means that it was successfully installed. And if you are in doubt, you can check if you have it on the package.json here, as I do.
Sorry, just a question.
Yes.
Just how do you find it running?
So Control C. If you
Control C.
yes, Control C, and then you need, it's going to ask you this, terminate batch job, yes, no, you press Y, yes, and you're going to terminate, yes, so now that we have this installed, let's check the code for the, so if we go to component demos, it was this one, autoplay. So we can see that we need to have the swipeable views as we have already, and we need the autoplay. So let's import it. So if we go to the code, I import it. Is like shadowed because we are not using it. We are importing it but not using it. So this is finished installing. You see we have the class. So now we need to start again, run our app. Okay, so while this is doing that, okay, so we need to use the autoplay. So yeah, let's just put it there. So what we are doing, we are importing this module from this package. And now we are assigning the what is being returned by that module, into this variable. So this is going to be another component. So we need to put here autoplay swipeable views. Okay, this is another component. And inside is going to have 3 slides, as we did before. So let's just copy and paste it. Okay. And now we have some other things we're going to check. So we have some state that is the index, and we need to pass it as a prop. And then when the index changes, we need to update the state with the index. I'm not sure if we need this. I think this is for this, to handle the pagination for the dots, but let's put it, let's do it. So we can see that this is a class component, it's a stateful component, and we have a function component. Do you remember how to have state in a stateless component, in a function component? What do I need to do?
Need to import the state, don't you?
Yes, we need to import
State.
use state. Yes,
Use state.
yes. So the way to do it is this: use state, and now we have to declare the state. So we do const, and then we have an array that we are destructuring. It has 2 elements. So let's say index, and then set index. And then we have equals to use state. And what we put inside the parentheses is the default value. That in this case, it should be 0. I'm going to check it, but it should be 0.
Does 0 mean,
yes.
is that like the first slide?
Yes, probably. Usually in an array, the 0 is the first element. So yes. So basically what we are doing, we are just getting the demo they have here and doing the same. So we have we need to pass the index as a prop, and then we need to handle the change on index. So we need to create this function, but we are not in a class component, so the syntax is going to be a bit different. So let's go. So we need to create another const, and then handle index. I think it was the name. Handle change index, and now this is going to be an arrow function, and then inside we're going to set the state to something. So set index, and probably, I don't know, let me check. Index, okay. So we are passing some value, and this value is going to be the new index. Okay. So let's do that. Because it's only one, we can just put the name of the parameter. Then we do index. We need to pass it as a prop here. So prop index is going to be index. And we need to pass the handle change index. Let me check how they are doing it. Oh, sorry, on change index. On change index, we are going to use handle change index. And yeah, let's wrap it. Let's do this. To avoid an infinite loop. Okay. So if we check now, I think that's it. Because we don't have this component. Yeah, so let's check. Here it is. So first we have this is what we did before, this one, and then we should have another one. It's working. It's changing automatically. It's changing. So there it is. Slide 1, slide 2, and slide 3. Yes, and that was it.
If you wanted to use those dots in the bottom corner, because pagination, because that's obviously useful for someone to know how many slides there are. Is it easy enough to put it in there, or is that quite complicated?
It's not too complicated. Like you could use an array, and then basically depending on where you are now, just change also the dot. Like you get the index, because here you are updating the index on each change, and then when the index changes, the dot changes as well.
Okay, yeah.
And
it would be fairly similar.
yes, it would be fairly similar. Also, let me compare the code I have here, because I'm using hooks with the code we have here. So you can see that it's much longer, right? It's like I'm using the CSS file instead of the inline styles. and also I'm using I'm using hooks, and it's much shorter, and I'm rendering two components, not just one. If you see this, if I wanted to do so to be a better comparison, let's do this. So you see, it's just this code, it's like half, and that was it. Let's oh, here it is. Do you have any questions about what we did? Would you be able to do it by yourselves?
Give it a go. Is it part of CodeFlix?
No, it's not part of Codeflix, but it's something useful. On Codeflix, if you keep going, I think there is a task where you have a menu. If you want, you can implement it with this, or you can do it with a transition or a transform. It's up to you. But that's quite advanced. Like
Yeah.
it's task 35, I think. I don't remember the exact number.